The exact event that happened in 2025, the crash of the NASDAQ over 22% in just a couple weeks, is now back on the table, and it's tariffs.
Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you.
So, the big bad tariffs are now off apparently, but then Trump immediately turns around and throws a new 10% global tariff over the Supreme Court loss. And a lot of investors, they're worried right now. What does this mean for our portfolios? What does this mean for our stock options? What does this mean because stock market valuations are high? What does this do to inflation? What does this do to the overall just market going up or not? That's what we're going to break down in a very, very simple way right now. Because hey, we're all here to make money, so let's figure it out.
Our stock market has just recently broken 50,000 on the Dow, and simultaneously, and even more amazingly, broken 7,000 on the S&P, two numbers that everybody thought upon our landslide election victory could not be attained. Think of that. Nobody thought it was possible to do it within 4 years, and we did it in 1 year.
So yeah, Trump is right. The stock market has been absolutely ripping the last couple years. If we start from the bottom of October of 2022 and we go to right now, that 3-ish year move in the stock market, up 133%. Very untypical, very unlikely to continue, and now we're throwing in this new uncertainty of additional tariffs. Maybe some tariffs are off, but maybe some tariffs are going on in a bigger way is what Trump was talking about. I listened to this entire interview start to finish. Okay, everyone just take a breather. This is where most retail investors go wrong. They jump the gun, they like to freak out and react to every single news headline out there. We have to process this and think about it logically and figure out what is a signal and what is a noise and what is actually going to move the needle. I built my $1.2 million account not by worrying about all the noise out there, guys. I focus on the signal. Here's some signal right here. This is the S&P 500 overall market valuation right now. Yes, like we said, the market has been going up and to the right. Is that because Trump put tariffs on? Probably not, in my opinion, but it's a lot of price earnings ratio level expansion because a lot of people are very euphoric and excited about AI and what that means for productivity and what that means for corporate profits going up and margins and stuff like that. But you could see, historically speaking, the S&P 500 is relatively expensive right now still, and then we're throwing in this wrench of more additional volatility with tariffs. Going all the way back to 1985, and this chart just updated right now when I'm recording this, you could see that the highest to price earnings ratio level has ever been on the S&P 500 was 25. Right now we were close to 25, but the market has been very volatile and not really doing that much. So now we're closer to a level of roughly 22. So let's flip back to the chart and take a look right here. October 6th of 2025 is exactly where the stock market's at right now. It's basically been doing nothing in the background. And again, now we're throwing in more wrenches, more volatility, more things for the market to process and price in and try to figure out, are we going to take a leg higher or take a leg lower? Now, in my opinion, I think it's largely because the valuations were really, really high. I've talked about it many times on this channel. Two things that move the price of a stock in the long term and an index like the S&P and the NASDAQ. Earnings per share going up and to the right, but also price earnings ratio level expansion. All the way up here. Dude, we're not going to be able to expand and make our price earnings ratio level much higher. What we are going to be able to do is continue to grow earnings per share. So when we look at this chart right here, the market's largely consolidating and going sideways and just being very, very volatile because earnings per share is having a little bit of time right now to catch up. And the way to really make this make sense is I'm going to plot the earnings per share growth line right here. You can notice that right here, the distance between where the market's at and the earnings per share growth line is more narrow than what it was back here. Just a little bit, but it is a little bit more narrow. Notice that the market was roughly, we'll just say 8% overvalued right there, and the market right now, we'll just say is roughly 5 to 6% overvalued right now, simply based on this one metric right here. It's totally not the end-all be-all, by the way, but you could see that as the market's been going sideways and doing nothing, it is becoming a little bit cheaper fundamentally, but it is still overvalued right now. And again, now we have tariffs. Is this going to cause inflation? Is the Federal Reserve going to keep interest rates higher for longer? What is the new Fed Kevin Warsh actually going to do? there's all these uncertainties that the market is trying to price in, and it's really hard to know where the market's going to go in the short term. That's why there's so much volatility. So the reason why I break down the market valuation so much on this channel is because it dictates everything. Like if you look at this chart right here, notice how much the stock market fell right here, simply by raising interest rates a few percentage points. The market was a little bit expensive, the earnings per share growth line was here, the S&P 500 was right here, the Fed raised interest rates because inflation was too high post-COVID, and the stock market corrected 35%. But if the stock market was actually at a valuation level like this, where it's clearly below the earnings per share growth line, and then you get a negative catalyst like raising interest rates or more tariffs or stuff like that, then you will notice that the stock market's not going to fall as much because it's already cheap. So it's critical to know where we're at and where the chips lay before we draw conclusions of what does this actually mean with these new tariffs potentially. You can see right here with what happened with tariffs last year. Trump put on tariffs. The valuation of the market was a little bit expensive. The market then went down and it corrected to a little bit of an undervalued category right here, but then the tariffs went off and the market rebounded up very, very sharply. So who's to say that right now Trump doesn't use all these special powers in complicated ways of putting more tariffs on the economy, potentially driving inflation even higher, which could potentially keep interest rates higher for longer, which then could slow down the economy. And then what's going to happen? The market's a little bit disconnected from the fundamentals, market is expensive, and we get a negative catalyst, which is more tariffs, and then the market falls. And who's to say the market's going to fall to this level right here? It doesn't have to. The market right here fell roughly 15 to 20% below intrinsic value. Market right now is roughly 10-ish% above intrinsic value, 5 to 10% we'll say. So 10% above, we could easily go 20% below, and that could be a 30% stock market crash, just like we got right here. This was about 22%. Who's to say we can't go down 20, if not 30% peak to trough from right now? We 100% totally can. Now, when we look at our accounts, how do we allocate our accounts in a way to not have to worry about this stuff, to not really have to care? What does Trump do with tariffs? Because, hey, I like to sleep at night even though I don't sleep ever, but I don't like to worry about my portfolio. And I don't, because if the market goes up, I'm going to win, and if the market goes down, I am going to win. So let's dive into this account right now, see what I have open, and see how I'm going to win no matter what happens in the stock market. So I'm going to show you a couple of the things that I have open right here. You can see I have the NASDAQ, which is triple Q, up roughly 106% since I started buying those shares. Unrealized capital gain of $188,000. Looking good on that. I plan to hold that forever. And this, of course, is part of the base portfolio. VOO, S&P 500, up $120,000 unrealized. I plan to hold that forever. Tesla, speculative play. Looking backwards, it's a bubble. Looking forward, I think it could be potentially big upside if they scale Robotaxi and scale the Optimus humanoid robot. Now, if we go to TSM, we all know what TSM does. They manufacture the chips. They don't actually design the chips. They build the chips. But there could be tariff implications right here. If the tariffs go away and TSM says, hey, we're not going to build as many plants in Arizona, the risk is all those chips continue to get made in Taiwan. That's what TSM stands for, Taiwan Semiconductor. If those chips continue to get built in Taiwan, the stock could actually correct lower, because now we have to price in this risk of what if China invades Taiwan, takes control of Taiwan, and now China's basically in control of all of these AI chips that get built. But right now, possibly because of some of the tariffs, TSM is building plants in Arizona to try to diversify away from Taiwan. And the tariffs is basically forcing them and incentivizing them to come to America to avoid the tariff. But if the tariff goes away, they're going to be like, hey, why are we going to waste all this money spending all this capital expenditure building these chips in America when we could do it in Taiwan for cheaper? So there's going to be volatility with this company right here for sure. Now, if we go down a little bit, I have some United Health shares. And these shares right here are kind of like a hedge. And if the market goes down, I'm going to do just fine, because these are probably not going to go down as much as the market, because everyone needs health insurance no matter what. And what's going to happen is, as this company's earnings per share continues to go up and to the right as they're raising their medical premiums, the stock is likely to follow that in the long term, and it's starting from a cheap valuation level right now. If we go down a little bit more, I have some Meta shares. Meta, I think, is relatively undervalued fundamentally, and I do think that whether we get tariffs or not, Meta is not going to be impacted by that. The revenue growth is still going to be good. The earnings per share growth is still going to be good. That company is going to do fine in the long term. Now, you could see right here that I have a little bit of exposure to some options. I have some options right here on NVIDIA, bought some call options on Meta, sold some puts on NVIDIA right here, sold $25,000 worth of puts. If we go up here, I'm in the way, but I sold $46,000 worth of puts on Meta right here, collected that cash flow, went to my account immediately, reinvested it where I'm bullish. And I have some more plays on United Health, Nvidia, Robinhood, stuff like that. But then in my other account within Charles Schwab, which I really don't show anybody, my Brandon IRA, I use this account to allocate to things in a tax-free way. So I had a lot of S&P and Nasdaq in here before in individual companies, but I want bond exposure right now. If interest rates go down because the economy takes a crap or inflation trends down, really any hedge downside economy labor market thing, rates are probably going to go down. The price of these bonds are going to go up, so they track the price of bonds, not the yield of bonds. So I have roughly $183,000 in bonds right now, and we will see what happens with that in the long term. But overall, my portfolio is allocated in a way where if the market goes up, I'm going to do fine, and if the market goes down, I'm going to do fine too. I buy great companies at good prices, and I hold them for the long term. And all of this short-term volatility, I don't think it's going to mean that much for the stock market. Whether tariffs are on or tariffs are off, I could sit here and give you a very compelling story for an hour each way and say why tariffs on is good and why tariffs on are bad, or why tariffs off is bad and why tariffs off is good. Whatever. It doesn't matter. What I'm getting at is this is noise. This does not matter for the stock market in the long term. But hey, if you're a short-term trader, you do short duration options like I don't recommend to do, it is going to impact you because there's going to be a lot of volatility. And at a time that the overall market valuation's hot, short-term traders, they're going to have a lot of trouble in the short term trying to predict and guess where the stock market's going to go. If we take a look at my stock sheet right now, I say that anything over a 75 is potentially a buy. These companies right here are potentially a buy because they are above a 75. But you can notice the vast majority of them are a no, and there's even more than these that I cover. And you can see that overall the S&P and Nasdaq are roughly 10% overvalued. So right now when we get these negative catalysts, it is going to be a time in the market to be very cautious. And this is what I talk about right here. I do a bull bear scale, 2-year time frame. Right now, as of a couple days ago, I am a 6.5 out of 10. Overall market's trading sideways, valuations are coming more in check, earnings are coming in good, lots of capex, labor market is going to be the same. And when I update this again, it's going to talk about how tariffs are now a threat, and tariffs could potentially cause inflation or take inflation away. Who knows what they're actually going to do in the long term, but it's just more uncertainty that we have to price into the market. So I have this thing called sold put assignment value right now. This is kind of like how many sold puts I do, which is a bullish strategy. You can see that right now my sold put assignment value is roughly 25%. I have roughly a $2 million account between a few different brokerage accounts. And if I were to take assignment of all the puts that I sell, I'm going to be on the hook to buy roughly $500,000 worth of puts right now. So that's roughly 25%. So even if the market were to fall 50% from right now, this $2 million account right here is going to be roughly $1 million. And if I was forced to sell those shares, generate cash to take assignment, I'm still going to be totally fine. Ratios are super in check right now, guys. Like, I'm not worried about volatility in the stock market right now. But you can see right here that my max acceptable sold put assignment value is 40%. This is a couple days old right here, but it doesn't matter. It's still going to be 40% right now. But this max acceptable right here, it's going to change based on market conditions. If the market's super cheap, I'm going to take on, quote, more risk. But if the market's expensive, I'm going to take on, quote, less risk. We all know by looking at the market valuation right here, the market is totally not cheap. We are similar to .com valuation levels. And if you take a look right here, the S&P 500 price earnings ratio level, the valuation metric that matters a lot, before the 2008 .com crash, dude, this thing was at 15 and the market still fell 50%. Imagine if we get something that bad right here. The market's going to fall a lot more than 50% probably. So you not only have to survive those situations, you have to be able to capitalize in those situations too. Because a 50% stock market drop does not happen often. But when we do get deep volatility like that, you definitely want to have the buying power and the ability and the capital to be able to capitalize heavily in those events right there. Most people are going to panic, they're going to sell, they're going to freak out on the bottom, and they're going to buy high and they're going to sell low. Meanwhile, smart money, they're going to come in and sell puts when people are freaking out, buy calls when nobody wants them, and buy shares when nobody wants them too, of good companies at good prices. And that right there is exactly how I scaled this account to $1.2 million. So keep your ratios in check, keep your pants on, don't stress about the volatility, don't worry about every little news headline. Everyone on X and YouTube tries to freak out and clickbait you guys to watch their content. Look, the market's going to be fine in the long term. Allocate to capitalize on that. Don't play the short-term game because you're going to get crushed. So with that being said, if volatility like this stresses you out, you have to watch this video right here. It's step-by-step that anybody can understand of exactly how to build your portfolio to not have to worry about any of this garbage that most people worry about and how you could actually beat the market in the long term just like me. See ya.